A stunning series of events recently unfolded in a small town in Kansas that has serious implications for free speech for all of us. The Marion County Record, small local newspaper serving Marion County, Kansas, saw their offices raided and ransacked by police, along with the home of their 98-year-old co-owner. Computers, cell phones were taken, personal records photographed in a series of raids that were so aggressive, they saw one of the paper's journalists injured by the chief of police, and which was so stressful to Joan Meyer, the paper's co-owner, that she collapsed and died days later. The Kansas Bureau of Investigations has confirmed they're involved in whatever this so-called investigation is, and the more that we learn about it, the more that it stinks. It looks like powerful people in this small town did not like the reporting the paper was doing and decided to use the local and state authorities to mete out revenge. All right, so here's what happened. All started when journalists for the paper attempted to attend a public forum for their local congressman, Jake LaTurner. It was held at a local restaurant. The owner of that restaurant, a woman named Carrie Newell, kicked the reporters out, telling them she refused to allow any members of the media in her business. After writing about that incident, the paper then received a tip about Ms. Newell, that she had a suspended license because of a DUI and had continued to drive on that suspended license anyway. Now, this had implications beyond local gossip. Newell was asking the local council for an ABC permit that could be put at risk by that DUI. The paper was able to confirm the tip using public records, but they declined to publish the information because they were concerned about the motivations of their tipster. Specifically, they thought that Newell's ex was behind the leak, was trying to get the upper hand in a divorce dispute over who would get possession of the couple's cars. Now, up to this point, this is mostly some real typical small town nonsense. But what happened next was deeply troubling. A pissed off Newell claimed that the paper must have obtained her DUI record by illegal means. And apparently, she was able to convince the local cops to then pursue a broad search warrant. This search warrant was then signed off on by a local judge, in spite of the fact that it appears to be in direct violation of federal legal protections for journalists. The Privacy Protection Act explicitly requires law enforcement to subpoena materials rather than obtain search warrants. Search warrants allow the cops to show up unannounced and conduct a broad search and seizure. Subpoenas are more narrow and require subjects to be notified in advance, giving them a chance to contest the authorization. Marion County District Court Magistrate Judge Laura Villar signed the apparently illegal order and hasn't responded to requests for comment from other news outlets. So, armed with this illegal search warrant, the entirety of the local police force, plus 2 sheriff's deputies, came in full force to this tiny newspaper's offices, and again, the home of the newspaper's co-owners, Eric Meyer and his 98-year-old mother, Joan, snatching cell phones, personal computers, photographing personal documents, bank statements that were laying on tables inside the Meyer residence. The chief of police was so aggressive in snatching one cell phone that he actually injured a reporter's hand. Days later, Joan Meyer, the 98-year-old co-owner of that paper, collapsed and died. She had worked at the paper for more than 50 years. According to her son, Eric, Joan had been quite anguished by the raids, had been unable to eat or sleep in their wake. The Kansas Bureau of Investigations has confirmed they have also brought into this investigation, all triggered by an unhinged local business owner with political connections who decided to try to throw her weight around. There's another layer to this as well, though, which may reveal why local law enforcement was apparently so willing to do the bidding of the license-suspended DUI lady. The police chief, a guy by the name of Gideon Cody, was also the subject of an ongoing investigation by this paper, the Marion County Record. He had taken the role of local chief only recently after taking early retirement from the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department under what appeared to be suspicious circumstances. The paper was looking into exactly what had happened to trigger Cody's Kansas City departure at the time of the raid. Certainly convenient for him that all the notes on that investigation into what happened there, those have all been seized now by his department. That allows him access to the ongoing reporting, including notes and information from confidential sources, as well as hampering the paper's ability to conclude reporting out whatever that investigation was going to show. According to the Daily Beast, Cody defended this search as part of a, quote, criminal investigation, and also hinted that there may be more as of yet unknown details that would provide further justification for the raid. We'll wait and see if any of those additional details are forthcoming. As for Eric Meyer, the co-owner and publisher, who just lost his mom, by the way, the message to his paper came through loud and clear. Mind your own business or we are going to step on you. For Meyer, the Marion County Record has really been a labor of love. He bought it with his mother and his father to save it from corporate ownership, takes no salary, distributes profits to his employees. He's single-handedly trying to buck the trend of local newspapers getting bought up and killed off. But threats to real journalism, they don't just come from corporate greed. They also come from corrupt systems where the powers that be conspire to silence anything that might be uncomfortable for them or threaten their power, where the only stories allowed are toothless and cater to those with power rather than challenge and hold them to account. This story might be about a small town in Kansas, but the lessons are unmistakable for every town, suburb, and city in the entire country. And Sagar, I read an interview with
Hey guys, if you want to see what I had to say to Krystal's monologue, not just this one, all of them, going back to the very beginning, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com.